So to move on, the next person who's going to be presenting is going to be Kinnary Jangla. Kinnary is a senior engineering manager at Meta Reality Labs, working on AI in augmented reality and virtual reality, previously leading generative AI image and video at Meta AI. She spent over 15 years building systems at Meta, Pinterest, Uber, and Microsoft, which makes her exactly the right person to walk us through the rapid evolution of AI. Thank you so much, Kinnary. The stage is yours.
Hey, folks. Thank you. Thank you, Aryan. Hey, guys. My name is Kinnary. I am, as Aryan mentioned, in engineering leadership at Meta. I've been here for a while and been in several different companies before that, but most recently I've been working on Reality Labs, and I have 2 kids. I'm a mom, and it's very inspiring to see a room full of kids and parents here to, give and pass on the knowledge of what we know. But yeah, I'm here to speak about what is going on. What's this AI? It's like such a buzzword, and sometimes like, stop it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. But what happened? What happened today, and why is it happening now? And 2 things. Lakshmi told me, "Are you going to talk about the same thing you spoke back in December at the AI Kiran event?" And I was like, no, that's completely irrelevant now. And it's only been 3 months, not even. So that's how fast this whole thing is moving. And I just want to say one thing. I think in our lifetimes, we don't really witness too many world-changing events. In my lifetime, the last one I know of is when mobile phones came. When I was growing up, I didn't have a phone. And then in my 20s, I got a phone, and I saw how every person in the world started getting a phone, no matter who you were going to talk to. And that was a big shift in how the world transitioned. And I think that was the first event, and this is the second event, where the world is fundamentally shifting in the way it works. And it's ongoing, and we're witnessing it today. And we're a part of it. And that's how I see it. And so it's so important to be and hop on the train. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. So we'll talk about that today. In 2020, this has been the last 6 years, actually, right? In 2020, there was this impressive text prediction that came in, right? You write a text, you say, how are you? And you get a prediction, whether it's today or it's doing, and that was pretty cool. It was like, AI basically predicting what you're probably going to say based on the data it learns, right? After that, we had a bunch of chat bots where you ask them a question, it gives you an answer. Not like Google search, but a little bit better version of it, aggregated results, which is pretty cool. You didn't have to go to do the work yourself. And so it's aggregating it for you, making sense of it. And then, there was this long context agentic framework that came in where there are agents who are like people who do the work for you. And that's the world we are in today, right? But why not last year? Why not the year before that? This year, code became cheap, right? Building became cheap. That was one of the most expensive things a few years ago. And today, it's nobody's intimidated by engineering. Nobody's intimidated by how am I going to build this? It's the most easiest thing. So, research, you wanna do anything, analyze something, deep research is becoming a thing. You don't really need to worry about that either. Data analysis is so much intuitive, so much easier. And then now, AI has also married the physical world, right? I don't know how many of you have a Ray-Ban Meta or any kind of hardware device. Yeah, and it's really picking up. And, it's a very easy real-time assistant, right? You say, hey, what am I looking at? I'll tell you. I go for walks with my children, the very curious kids, like, hey, mom, what's that tree? What's that plant? You don't have to think about it twice. Hey, Meta, what am I looking at? Very good, very easy, multimodal translations, look and translate, right? And it's pretty cool how AI has become a thing that you can use.
This is Meta Ray-Ban Display. These are glasses with the classic style that you'd expect from Ray-Ban, but they're the first AI glasses with a high-resolution display and a whole new way to interact with them, the Meta Neural Band. The display is large enough to watch a video or read a thread of messages. It appears in one eye, it's slightly off-center so it doesn't block your view, and it disappears after a few seconds when it's not in use so it doesn't distract you.
Yeah, so this is the new world, right? You wear it anywhere you go. A lot of people wear it as their primary glasses or sunglasses. The AI aspect of it is that it's voice assisted. So like I said, when you say, hey Meta, it's going to listen, right? There's handwriting recognition. You don't need a keyboard. It's actually, you don't even need voice. If you're in a public setting where you can't speak, you have your handwriting. It's one of the most coolest devices I've seen. Multimodal is a big thing. It not only listens to you, it's not only voice, but it's also recognizing what it's looking at. But there is a world in which it's going to be an always-on assistant, right? Hey, what am I looking at? Is it my food? What's the nutrition? Nutrition logging is such a big thing these days for fitness enthusiasts. But that's the world we're in, and very soon, what does we have robots. Who won't like a robot who's constantly cleaning their house, right? I'm ready to pay a boatload of money for that kind of stuff. But how did this happen? So these are all the advances we saw in AI, but what really changed? Why wasn't it last year? Why wasn't it the year before that? Because AI existed. And two things happened, right? One is that the foundational models took a very big leap, right? The training data, the transformers, the scale at which this is happening is phenomenal. But the other thing that happened is that the infrastructure became accessible and cheap, right? Chips and the GPU compute clusters, we all have access to it. It's not just enterprise companies or big companies that can that have the money to spend. We all have it in our fingertips, and that is the biggest thing that has happened in the last 6 to 9 months, where the models are so much better, but they're also so much cheaper to deploy on your device, right? And I think these are the two things. But in all this, what is the next wave? What is coming up, right? Today, we already have multimodal assistants. Multimodal is basically all kinds of text, speech, media, voice. They run everywhere. Now, AI has also married the physical world. There's the glasses, but there's also robots that are coming. And then, soon enough, we're going to see problems like we already are, reliability, privacy, job transition, and so on and so forth. So for a room full of kids, what is the key message over here? Right? I think that Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA guy, he posed a very good framework of task versus purpose. A task is a repeatable activity, and purpose is the reason those tasks exist, right? And so he said that for a software engineer, you should not only be able to solve problems but find the problems to solve, right? And if you're going to look for someone to tell you what to solve, you're definitely getting replaced, right? If you're looking for your manager or someone else who's been in this industry to tell you, hey, go code this up, that's something that an agent will do for you, right? And so task is something that's very discrete, it's repeatable, but the purpose is the reason these tasks exist. And so the message here is, will we not have jobs moving forward? Is our agents taking our jobs away? No, but there is a transition in the way you think. The discrete steps, for a radiologist, for a doctor, looking at the image and scanning an image is not the job, it's the diagnosis. The diagnosis is still going to be there. It's the way the diagnosis happens becomes easier and more predictable. But that's my time. Thank you very much. I'm Kinnary Jangla, and please reach out to me if you need anything. I'm at kjangla@gmail.com. Thank you.